Mohammed Ilyas from BCC Healthcare. I'm basically from a branding and marketing communication agency. We work with a lot of healthcare brands. And the topic for today is social media marketing plan for eye clinics and hospitals. So what I've done is basically for this presentation to make it very informative and valuable to the audience today. We have clearly crystalled out few very important aspects, starting from ideation, planning till action, what you need to do. And whatever stage you are in, you will be able to get the step-by-step guidance with respect to the social media plan for your practice, basically. So I have also authored a book on the subject called Ethical Hospital Branding and Marketing. And I am sure that a lot of people in this group have also got this book and they have also shared good notes on the reviews, basically. Thank you for that. And this is the structure of the program today. Basically, what I have created today is basically more of a workshop kind of a format, wherein the nuts and bolts of doing everything is going to be revealed to you. Maybe if it was a physical session, I would have even made you do it. Or if it was like a long duration session, we all will be sharing screens and we will be implementing each one of these items. But since this is a different format where it's a master class, I'm going to give you the information in entirety. And since the video is going to be recorded, so you can play back these videos. If you don't get few points now, you can go back again and you can play back and understand the information which is given here. Or you can show it to the people who are going to be implementing your social media plan. Okay, so the structure is IPA. First, I'm going to give you ideas. Then I'm going to give you a plan. Then I'm going to show you how you can action it. So everything is going to be discussed step by step. First is idea. Is my voice very clear to all of you? Is my voice clear? Is the presentation clear? Just need a confirmation from someone in the Zoom here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Clear, sir.
Everything is clear, right? Okay, thank you. So the first part is the idea part of it. The first thing is we need to understand basically why people are using social media today. The moment we understand this very basic phenomenon, then we can really formulate whatever we want to formulate in terms of content and then move ahead. This is a stats which was taken. It's a very, very famous stats which was taken on 2018. And a similar stats was taken July 2021. In fact, the stats from 2018 and 2021, not much has changed. Only the few more elements were added and the percentages have changed. And the very important reason that people are citing they want to be on social media is to stay in touch with their friends and family. They want to know basically what their friends are doing, what their family is doing. If supposing we understand this part clearly well, which means they are constantly trying to understand what the family is doing, what their closer friends are doing, or what their colleagues or who are connected to them are doing, which means what? People are constantly looking at you to grab information about your consumption patterns, and you are also influencing them in their buying behaviors. As simple as that. And supposing somebody is getting a surgery, cataract surgery done in their closest circle, and if that happens to come on the social media, and the moment you see the people in and around them, get the kind of vibes about what that means. And the social proof is built very easily. So connect it that way. So whatever I'm going to talk to you today, connect it from that angle as to how it is going to be helpful to you. And then you will be able to understand the entire concept that I'm going to be explaining in 3 different parts. So filling up spare time, reading news stories, finding funny or entertaining content, seeing what's being talked about. And there are lots of things. And there is one also very important part wherein it says they also want to buy something from looking at the social media. Okay, the stats is here for you. I'm going to share you the presentation as well as the video is going to be available. Just go through it one more time for you to get a little more information on the same. Let me move on to the next important thing. This particular stat says that 500 million users have joined social media the last year itself. So during Corona, what we could see is this. Now, everybody is forced into digital, as you all are aware. The interesting part to note is the people who are in the age bracket between say 35 to 45 and 45 to 55, And 55 to 65, even they are in the social media very much. And these people from 45 to 65 or 45 to 55 that we're talking about, they are the ones who are making decisions. The more and more you see this kind of people, this age bracket coming into social media, the buying is also going up. The decision making is becoming much more faster. During COVID, you saw, like the granddaughter is there, and due to lockdown, the grandfather is there, and the father is there. Everybody is there at home. You see this youngsters using Instagram, and the grandfather, grandmother wants to know, what are you doing? And why don't you open an account for me? I will also get into Instagram, and I want to get started using it basically. So you see a lot of new entrants have come into the social media platform during this COVID period. And this is a very amazing stats that talks about it. And another thing that I want to tell you is, this is the background story. I want to tell you the background story before we get into the main picture. There are a lot of people who still say that, like Facebook is outdated, and the trending and happening things are the other things, basically like Insta and all that. Of course, Insta is happening. There is no second thought about it. But what we need to know is, as this platform is aging, it is giving, and the Facebook as a platform, as it is aging, it is also coming out with fantabulous things. There are nearly 3 billion people in Facebook alone. 3 billion, just imagine, 2.85 billion is what is mentioned here, and very closely we're going to reach 3 billion. So which means nearly half of the world population is in Facebook, which means you can literally get any kind of audience through Facebook. Whatever audience you want, all the dissected audiences are already present in Facebook for you to reach and tap the potential. And you have YouTube, which is 2.29 billion people. You have Instagram, which is 1.38 billion, and it's growing really fast. And LinkedIn has 756 million. So this is the game. This is what you need to understand. Where, who's where. The moment we understand this part, then we can know basically where we need to invest our time. Okay. And another thing, when it comes to social media that we need to know is, it's like an ocean. You can't say that, I will learn everything about social media and then I will do it. It's never going to happen. And there are a lot of other people who try to learn a lot of things, load a lot of information into their head and get into the activities. I learned this technique from this course, that technique from that course, and I'm trying to do too many things. They're too busy doing activity, and at the end of it, they don't find results. They're completely drowned into it, not finding results. But there are few who get into it with a very clear focused mind. I want to get only this. They go get that portion, come back. So don't look at quantity of things. Quantity does not mean that you are getting return on investment. Let us be very clear. This talk today that I'm going to present to you, a lot of things is going to be direct talk. There is no beating around the bush. So it's going to be direct talk as to what works, what doesn't work. And it is going to be presented to you in plain language. So 4 golden rules before you get started. What are the 4 golden rules you should know before you get started with the social media marketing plan? The first thing that you should know is, you should start with one. Should start with one medium initially. So that you have focused efforts, and then you have reduced the cost. The cost could be in terms of you spending your time. It could be hiring an agency. It could be even spending on the marketing aspect, anything for that matter. So when you have single medium, your efforts are focused, you can understand the performance better. You can have reduced costs, focused efforts, reduced cost, and easy to understand the return on investment. And then you can move on to other medium. The world is not going to end tomorrow. And there are 100,000 people in Facebook, 100,000 people in Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube. They are working to continuously develop these platforms. So which means that they're not going to be running short of features. And even if you learn 100 features today, 100 more are going to be created tomorrow. And we are not here to build our expertise on social media. We are here to conduct our business. Here we are to grow our practice in an ethical manner, right? So that being the focus, let's start with one. If supposing getting started. Number 2, you should have a strategy in place. You should not do activity for activity's sake. I am also doing 2 posts a day, and that is the way how I conduct myself. No activity for activity's sake. The moment you have a clear-cut strategy, you will not get lost on the way, because your strategy may be such that you may want to get so and so patients who are of these personas basically. So when you're trying to reach them, you may have to spend some time reaching them, building that audience. But if you have a clear-cut strategy, you will not get lost on the way. And it will also help you prevent the money and time wastage. Okay. Number two is you should have a clear-cut strategy. Number three, you should be willing to experiment. The best lesson that you can learn from anywhere in the world is through the experiment, even in social media. Agencies can tell you anything, your staff can tell you something, and there are a lot of other people, your peers may give a different understanding about social media. But the real understanding about social media's performance can come to you only when you are willing to experiment. Because every brand is different. Say, for example, there's a brand A, brand B, brand C. And all these three brands are willing to promote their brand in social media. And all these three brands have same budget. And if three are going to go to the market through social media, do you think all the three will have the same response? Definitely not. Based on so many variables, the response is going to be different. So always try to understand this part well, that you will have to do experimentations. So get to understand your audience better, because only when you do an experiment, you will get an understanding from that response, from the campaign response, saying that what your audience are actually preferring. You may think this will work, but does it really work, or do the people on the other side want something else? Let not the features fool you. Don't think that there are a couple of features in Facebook, couple of features in Instagram, I will use it, and that should be enough. No, you should be willing to experiment properly with one or two, and then you should scale it up. Let in fact nobody fool you, because if you are clear with your experiments, you know the results. The moment you are clear with the results, you don't have to believe others' words. Number four, why I'm telling you this is a lot of wastages in terms of time that I can see when people are trying to not experiment with their own campaigns, but go by hearsay advice. Number four, secret sauce. The moment you follow 1, 2, 3, which is starting with one, having a clear-cut strategy, having experimenting with it, and then you arrive at something called as a secret sauce, the real winning formula for you in social media. One campaign that gives you maximum success, basically. The one campaign that is bringing you patients, the one campaign that is building you visibility and credibility in the market. The moment you hit that, you enjoy the results. Enjoy the results. After that, what do? You don't just wait. Then you keep the experimenting process going on and on, so that you can create several such successful campaigns. And then you scale based on performance of these campaigns. Simple formula. If my language is too difficult to understand, I will try to reword it, maybe in the Q&A. You can note down your questions as well. So, but for doing all these things, you need to know something, that you have no time. So you don't have time to really execute a lot of things. And what's happening is, I see a lot of doctors, getting into social media completely drained right after their practice hours. They come to the social media, they want to talk, create videos, but they don't have energy at all. Yes, you have to do a lot of things in social media, but there are ways to do it. And we're going to see each one step by step. Okay. I'm going to give you another idea, which is again a very, very directed idea on what we're going to talk about with some case studies. Discover, first of all, what kind of social media person are you? There are few people who are very active in social media every day. There are few people who want to be like active only in a week. There are few people who want to only post things that really matter much. You can be anybody here. You don't have to be like, when you say social media, you have to be like from the morning till the evening active. That's never going to happen for you. Or even if your agency is going to make you active that way, then it is going to be a fake personality, and it is never going to be the real thing. I'm going to show you some different social media personalities or prototypes here, and each type of the social media person, what they are doing. And then I'll give you the case studies of few doctors who are using it in their own style and how they are finding the benefits in it. Okay. First is, I'm going to share, there are 3 types of social media users. There are 3 users. This is common for any category for that matter. First are the people who are heavy content consumers. These are the people who are from the morning till evening consuming content. You see a lot of people in and around you, and they will be like every time on social media, liking, commenting, sharing, liking, commenting, sharing. Of course, they get some sort of entertainment value in it. They get some sort of an educational value in it. They are continuously there in the social media platform, and they are the reason for the revenue to the platform. They are the audience, right? Only when there is an audience, there is revenue. They contribute to the revenue, to the platform, and to the content creators, those people who create content. And what do they gain? They gain that experience. The second type of people are the content creators. They are the ones who create content, who could be doctors, who could be non-doctors, who could be like it can even be a cooking channel, whatever channel. Basically, these are the people who are continuously creating videos and a lot of content online, and we call them as effective users of the platform. They would have started with one video or two videos, and the video would have become like so famous with a lot of views basically, and then a lot of people started watching it, and because of that audience built that they have got, they would be like continuously building a lot of content and reaching a lot of people. So why do these people create content? Because they make money through YouTube. YouTube gives them money, because of which they build a lot of content and they try to continuously building content. And these are the people who have more followers than the brands. If a brand or an organization or a business posts a video or an image post, basically, they will relatively have very, very, very less interactions, hardly any. When you see these people, individuals, when they are posting content, their videos reach hundreds, thousands of people. Okay. They are number four is very important thing here. They act as influencers in their category. So what happens here is they become category advocates. When they start saying that I have had idli dosa in this particular restaurant, next day you see a lot of people going to that particular restaurant and having idli dosa. So that is a kind of an influencer status that happens because of this content creators. If the same restaurant guy, if he posts a video, nobody will see. But if an influencer comes and posts a video, then the weightage is completely different. Okay, these are the second type of social media users. So there are a lot of other people. There are a lot of people who make money through YouTube. So I'm just giving an idea of those people, about these people. So the third type of people are the brands. The third type of users are the brands, I can say. Brands are organizations. It could be your organization, my organization, any organization from anywhere. So why do organizations or the brands get into the picture of using social media? We want to get into the social media. Why? Because we want to engage people and sell, because the audience is here. But that's the main intention of brands. So the brands pay for the experience through advertisements and a lot of other components that we use. Because of this, the money goes to the platform and the content creators, right? So we pay for the experience, and the main intention of the brands is to engage and sell, engage the people and sell. Okay. So there are brands like even like Coke and a lot of other brands, basically, they have a lot of channels. Okay. Now there are these three types of social media users, basically. And the biggest gainer from these three users is the platform, because the guys who are consuming content are actually the audience. The people who are creating are the ones who are continuously adding content and making money. And then there are brands who are spending money to get the customers. So when these three people are properly hooked and linked together, then you see a very nice social media platform, which is making a lot of revenue and growing in multitudes. This is the simple game. If you understand these three parts clearly, then we should know now, where do we really fit in? The formula that works in this particular space is number 2 and number 3 combination. Being a content creator plus a brand. The biggest disadvantage of these guys, even though we talk so highly about content creators, is that they may not have a brand on their own. Many of them don't have. There are few who do have it, who do it in the right way of 2 plus 3 together. But there are a lot of content creators like who don't have a brand on their own. They don't have a product or service to offer. So because of that, what happens, their only product or service is the video, and they're consistently at the mercy of YouTube to give them the revenue. So they do all sorts of things. They invest sometime more than what they can really earn and try to create some videos. So we don't know. They are very vulnerable. Tomorrow, if YouTube changes the algorithms and the payment structures, they are definitely going to be at a loss. But there are a few smart people who use the combination of 2 and 3. Being a content creator and also a brand, basically. A brand meaning a business or an organization, a fine combination of these two together. So what happens here is, when you are a content creator, you can influence people. When you have a brand or a business, basically, you have a product or a service to offer. In our case, what are we talking about? I'm going to give you 3 case studies basically as to how people in this particular space from various different domains and also from Avtal, basically how they have been using social media. These are like very close references where we have seen traction, basically very close references who have built businesses mainly through the social media platforms. First case study I want to share is with you is about Opal Dentistry. It's a very humble beginning, basically started I think some 4 or 5 years back, I believe 4, 5, 6 years back, and very basic practice from scratch. Basically a lot of hard work has gone into it. Dr. Kriba is the person who started this basically with one center basically in Chennai. And then what happened was, like, because of his hard work and dedication and all that, there, the word of mouth spreads. And then one fine day you get one girl by name Anu Kriti was. And the moment she comes in and he is not sure who she is and all that, then he gives her a treatment. And then it happens to be that, she's the one who is contesting for this Miss India World title basically. And then she wins the title in 2018. The moment she wins the title, then she comes back and says, gives a video testimonial which goes into Instagram, that reaches a lot of people, that says, she thanks Opal Dentistry for creating that smile design as a service which was provided basically. This one testimonial that gets into the social media helped the brand really scale up so well that he started getting, right after that, all the local celebrities, TV anchors, basically one after the other. The single social media tool or the effect that we can say. And then right after that, it is like raining celebrities to his, in the sense, like when you say celebrities, not like very top level celebrities, but still very happening page 3 kind of a crowd. So this is a recent paper clipping about him, which came in Times Chennai also, which spoke about him. And then there are other people who he has like in touch with basically. So things are happening. Even you don't have to do too many big things. It could be just one right move, and that one testimonial can even build your brand. To just give you an example. So social media marketing and all this marketing, whatever we are talking about, need not be like a very big chore of lot of things. Definitely, we are going to talk about those activities also. But the moments that it takes to really build a brand or make the brand reach a lot of people, it is just with few things basically. So you just have to be experimenting with few things. The moment you hit the goal, you just have to blow it up. You just have to promote it so that it gets you the kind of attraction that you want. Case study 2 that I have is a Tangam Cancer Center, which is in a tier 3 location basically. So which was like launched by chairman of Tata Group. Here, when they did the launch, I don't know how many people were aware of the launch. Actually, the big name came in. But what became so famous was this video which was created, which really went and had a very good amount of visibility built for the brand. There was a video which was created which says 5 minutes cancer awareness video. This was made in purposefully in the regional language so that we could reach a lot of the local audience there. And they are making the versions of this in Hindi and English as well after seeing the success of this. So what we try to do here is trying to create a video which had, say, for example, say 30 to 40 questions relating to cancer, which people are not asking about, but they have this in their mind. Maybe they are not so serious about asking it now, but only when they see the relatives or their friends getting cancer or something like that, then they want to learn, then they want to know what it is and all that stuff. So even before a calamity could strike like this, basically they should be aware, they should know the answers basically. So we have picked up those questions, and then all these questions were like answered by the experts basically. And the video goes in such a way, in 5 minutes you get the maximum answers relating to cancer. So this video actually had a very good round, and this video had built a very good brand image for this particular organization. And right during COVID, this was a very effective method to even bring the organizational structure out, the organizational capabilities out. Even when the video in this way, the video was such a way done that the people from the organization, when they were answering the questions, the entire infra was at their back. In a way, they were trying to communicate their capabilities, not only by talking, but also by showing the imagery, the background basically. This same video had 1.5 million views in the internet space. That built a lot of traction for this brand, and that got them patients from actually all across. Because when this thing goes in various other languages, you see a lot of people coming in. And also very directed communication. So they also had built some very directed communication talking about robotic cancer surgery. So that particular video had a very profound effect on the audience, and that got them the kind of attention that they want. The idea of talking about these specific examples is that you can have a social media chore, but that chore alone is not going to give you success. It has to be a pointed communication, a pointed strategy that you need to take, which can really build a brand or which can get you the kind of success that you want. A similar experiment, if you see with the case study 3 is with Amrit Hospital. This is an eye hospital basically. So here during COVID times, we wanted to create some traction for the brand. As you all know, during the very peak COVID times, a lot of lockdowns, a lot of things, basically the OPs were very down and all that stuff. And right after the second wave, now it looks a little better here in Chennai, but during that time it was too tight. So we want to create a visibility and also make the people have the top of the mind brand recall. So this video was created called mucormycosis, the black fungus video, basically to create awareness on this subject. And if you see, we created this video in regional language, in Tamil, Hindi, and then English. In all three languages, the content was the same basically. And then we had to push this content in Facebook in 3 different languages to the same geographical area, but to different audiences who only know those respective languages. And the kind of traction this particular video had built was phenomenal right during the times, and it actually helped them increase their OP during the COVID times. They could see a sudden surge in the increase of their OPs right after these videos were going out. The idea is basically, if you know exactly what you need to be doing, you don't have to be doing 100 things. You can pick up cues from one of these 3 case studies that I gave you now. It could be a moment marketing wherein you have a celeb or a very valuable testimonial that can give you the breakthrough. Number 2, it could be an awareness communication about the particular subject that people are not aware of. And you have a niche specialization there, or you have some heavy infrastructure investments made, but people are not aware about it. You talk about it and you hit the audience directly. Number 3, it could be something which is very, very trending. People are talking about this subject now relating to your specialty. And why don't you bring out one content which has immense value to people on that particular point in time? You build your social media presence. Very simple. It just has to be very, very pointed. Clear. Because of this, what happens is, so when you talk about content creators, I would definitely call all these 3 people as content creators, but they are trying to create content in various degrees. Content creator does not mean a guy who's always having a camera and always keeps going out and creating vlogs. Not just that. He's also a content creator. We can also become content creator, but by having a strategy and a very focused amount of time spent on creating very specific videos. So what is actually happening with these, the kind of traction which has been built with these 3 brands, I'll tell you, they are actually taking the status of content creator, and also they are enjoying the status of a brand. So with these videos going out in the market, there is a lot of goodwill built about them. And because they are businesses or the organizations that can cater to that need, they are also doing business. This is the way how it works. So I have just listed down some 9 benefits basically that are there, which these brands can enjoy, or anybody who is there in the audience who wants to enjoy these 9 benefits, what all you can enjoy, supposing if you have a combination of, becoming a content creator plus a brand. First is your personal branding. Your personal branding becomes very, very strong. You may be having a practice of say 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, but suddenly you feel that, yes, but still the competition is increasing. People who are like juniors getting, maybe getting more mileage, or people who are only getting into the game now, they feel the seniors are already there. They are taking the majority of share and I'm losing the traction or whatever, basically. So here the personal branding through these videos becomes much more stronger. Your visibility builds your credibility. Today, people want to see the doctor, the way how they talk, the persona. They want to buy the persona before fixing up an appointment. Because a lot of these people that you see today are not the people that you think are your audience. And there are a lot of people who you think are not your audience are actually your audience. So we don't have to be doing the guesswork. We should be doing only experimentation. Personal branding happens through this. Your OP improves because of this. You yourself will not know because of these videos. Unless and otherwise you go check them, they will tell you about you, which you don't even know. You may think nobody has seen your video. No, they have seen your video. They have come to you because of that. or they've seen your video that has influenced them to even refer you to somebody. All that is happening behind the scenes also, you may not even know. Number 3, when your videos are very pointed towards one specific specialization, say cataract, say refractive surgery, whatever, basically, or LASIK surgery, whatever, the exact treatment specific approach in your video can bring you those very specific patients, because people are looking out for a solution to their problem. When they find that specific video coming out from you, you get the specific thing addressed. Niche specialization gets highlighted. Supposing if you have a video that talks about your niche specialization or the high-end infra that you have, which no other person has, or the special capabilities that you have, which others don't have, or not many people in the market have, and that gets the real kind of an highlight. Visibility also brings in opportunities. You are called to talk in various different forums, need not necessarily be in the CMEs and the doctor forums, but also in other common forums where you can really find patients or patient sources, basically. Number 6, training. So those of you who are in the industry for 10 years, 15 years, who have learned it so hard, now it comes to you so easily and you can train a lot of people. There is a very big market for training, not only in India, but all across the world. Lot of people in Bangladesh, lot of doctors in Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and several Africas, and a lot of other spots of the world are really looking out for Indian doctors to train them. Are we really ready to really capture on this opportunity? So training is a very big market to look at, but for that, the visibility is very important. Number 7 is influencer for bigger movements. Supposing if you want to really create a change which is going to make a very good impact in the society, for that we have to first voice out our concern, or talk about what we feel is right in this specialty that you're very much into. So by talking about it, you can also become an influencer for bigger movements, basically. When you are too much into the subject and we are talking about it continuously, and when you know so many things about it, and we are there in the trainings or whatever, basically, you have a lot of knowledge about what kind of products can also help the practice. So such information can lead to bigger collaboration with companies. Such ideas can lead to bigger collaborations. And the least thing that you can expect is monetization from these videos. And you don't even have to expect in most of the cases, because you will start getting revenue streams built one after the other if your social media presence is set properly. And there are multiple other things that you're going to get apart from this. So that is the idea part I want to give you. First, I want to tell you that it is not a chore. Even one thing can build your brand if supposing you can hit it right. But for that to know, for you to know that one thing, you have to do experimentation. That's the simplest and the straightforward way for you to succeed. So that's the ideas. And I've given you multiple different ideas with different examples that you can look at. Another thing that I would like to share with you is when it comes to the video creation and all that, there are a few people who say that, I have a very less number of views. Is it really working for me? I have also got a channel. Is it really working for me? Or I'm also contributing to the content in Facebook. Is it really? See, there are two types of people who are coming to you. Okay, there are two types of people who are coming to you. One is inbound, another is outbound. Like, for example, there are always people in your own circle. You are in the practice for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or even 3 years, 4 years, whatever, basically 20, 25 years, which means that there are a lot of patients who got treated by you and they're already there in the market. Okay. And they're already talking about you. If they are starting a conversation about you and they spell out your name, the other person may believe in it and come to you directly. The other person may also believe in it, but may want to verify, or may want to know more about you. So the first thing that they do is, the moment they hear a doctor name, they do Googling. They go to their social media to find out how the doctor talks, what the doctor says, what is he specialized in, basically. Those kind of informations when they pick up, that's called inbound. The moment they get into your area, you should be there to tell them who you are, because they're first of all interested, they're half convinced or fully convinced. Now it is just your duty to explain whatever is that you want to explain. They're already coming here to submit to you. The second is the outbound, like you go out and reach people who could be your prospective audience. But if your inbound is done right, you can steadily see 15 to 20% increase in your OP, or in your cases, basically month on month. But you should build that content within your system first, which could be having a nice infra of your website and having the social platforms live and active. Okay, that's more important. Second, I've given you ideas as to what all are there basically in the social space. Second is the plan. I'm going to give you a plan now, basically. Okay. But before we get into creating a plan for you, there are 4 golden rules you should know before you plan. Okay. What are these 4 golden rules? Are you all able to follow me? Can I see some, say for example, okay, I've got a lot of people here in the group. I just wanted to know, you have this area in your Q&A section. So can you just type yes, yes, yes. I just want to know whether you are all getting my points, or is there any difficulty, or if you want to ask me any question, also you can ask me now. This is the first part is over. I'm getting into the second part. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hope it was clear. Yeah. Let me go to the second part now. Okay. The second part is this. Focus on your favorite and niche. What does it mean? This is a very simple concept, which is used by this famous organization called BNI. So they call it as, bread and butter, favorite, and niche. You can classify your services under these 3 categories. So it will be very interesting to note. Maybe if you have a pen or paper, you just have to note it down. Bread and butter. Bread and butter is your OP. Daily OPs have to come, and that has to keep you running. So OPs, bread and butter. Number 2 is favorite. You want to do cataract surgery, you want to do LASIK surgery. So this gives you money, like a sizable amount of money, which is good enough for the organization to keep continuing the good works, basically. So favorite is a subject that gives you a nice chunk of money for you to keep continue doing. Only thing is that you have to increase these cases. It's not about increasing OPs. It has to be like increasing these cases. I'll tell you why. Number 3 is your niche. What is niche? Something which is case study worthy. A complicated case in cataract, and that can get you a very good visibility, that is worthy to be covered in a newspaper, or that is something, that has got money component in it, that has got a name component in it. You can say that I did it with pride, basically. Such things give you an advantage which is much bigger and better than the others. And a lot of people I know, they would have done such cases and nothing comes out because they never ever publicize anywhere. All that is hidden and buried in their own files. So that is something which is worthy to be spoken about, because there are a lot of people who would have lost hope, who never knew that this is possible, and they would have not taken initiatives to pursue their treatment. But if they hear such positive news, they can come forward. So it is a very good thing to look at. Okay, so favorite is something that should be the subject of your interest when you're talking about social media. So before you plan, you should know that your entire focus has to be on the favorite and niche. The moment your focus is very clear, then you get targeted audience for your specific subject. Number 2, leverage the power of regional languages. Yes, of course, yes, English is fine. But what I would suggest is, unless you talk in the regional language, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Marathi, whatever is the language, talk in the regional language. That's where you build the audience. What we have seen here is there are people who know English, but when it comes to something very technical and medical, they want to receive the information in the mother tongue, the native language, because they feel somewhat, we want to use this information, but it has to be very easy to understand. They don't want to miss it. Because of that anxiety, they feel the moment it is in mother tongue, they'll not miss out on the information when a doctor is talking, and then they can get the information. So plan your communication in the regional languages first, and plus it could be English. Regional language first and then English. Okay. Number 3, because even if you are looking at this, makes a lot of business sense if you have your customers or the patients coming in from a specific geographical area who are familiar with 1 or 2 languages. Number 3, be a cost-based marketer. Speak about things that are appropriate to people, that can build awareness, that can really build good value to people. So think and speak about such things which is related to your specialty, that is more connected to a cause. How do you create a cataract free world, or how do you create something which is going to be really helpful to people or beneficial to people? How can somebody look at the early signs of glaucoma and get that treated instead of delaying the process, which can make things complex, whatever, basically. So marketing a cause is marketing for good, and that gives you trust and visibility. Don't battle with their minds, win their hearts with a cause. The moment you have a cause component built in it, you will not talk to people at their conscious level of, they are comparing you with another doctor or some other quotation and things like that. The moment they are comfortable, they want to come closer with you, they want to associate with you. Even if there are price differences, the bonding becomes stronger. Number 4, addressing audience in that mindset. Which mindset? Whatever they are looking for, there is a content specific to that. Say, for example, here you see this particular YouTube channel. I am also attaching all the links for you to go through later also. This doctor, basically, he's an ophthalmologist. So he has created a video on every subject, but I don't want you to create videos on every subject. If that is possible, then it's fine. If not so, at least on the subject of your specialization, your focus area, basically, try to create as many as possible, very specific to the audience. Say, for example, contacts for beginners. So if I'm a beginner, I know what video I should watch. How to clean contact lens. Supposing if I have a trouble in doing that, I have this specific video to watch. Sleeping in my contacts, the right thing or not? What should I do? So very specific video addressing audience in that mindset. You can't start with cataract and talk about everything about cataract in half an hour or 1 hour, and then you expect audience to know. That is not the audience we have today. People have specific questions and they need pointed answers. So 4 things you need to know before you plan are these. First is focus on your niche, favorite and niche in your plan. Number 2, leverage the power of regional languages. Number 3, be a cost-based marketer so that you can enter their hearts, not battle with their minds. Number 4, addressing audience in that mindset. Whatever subject they are looking at, that specific subject is available, which is related to you, so that you don't waste time on creating some unnecessary videos. You create videos which are relevant to you, and they see videos which are relevant to them. Both match, and then you have a perfect audience match. And I've also found this other video also, which had a similar kind of a channel, which has a similar kind of videos, basically. So now I'm going to give you a small blueprint for social media success for eye clinics and hospitals. This is a plan. Okay. How to execute this plan is going to come into action. I'm going to show you that in the action part. First is, I have classified this for 5 groups of audiences, basically. First is an ophthalmologist practicing in a hospital not owned by him or her, who are either beginners or experienced, basically. A solo practitioner, but practicing somewhere in another hospital. So what they should do in the social media. Number 2, you have an eye clinic, or maybe you practice somewhere and then you have an eye clinic. How do you promote? Number 2. Number 3, you have a single specialty, eye hospital, only eye hospital. So how do you promote? Then number 4, you have a multi-specialty hospital, but your origin was from ophthal. You started from ophthal, now you have a multi-specialty hospital. Despite having a multi-specialty hospital, you see 40 to 50% of your revenue or 60% of your revenue coming from ophthal. How should your social media strategy be? Number 5, you have a multi-specialty hospital, multi-super specialty hospital maybe, where eye is also a super specialty. So what do you do, basically? So these are the 5 types of groups that we're going to see now. Okay, we will go one by one. First is a doctor, an ophthalmologist practicing in a hospital, who can be like a beginner or an experienced person. What should they do? First is, they can't have an organizational profile. They should be using their individual profile accounts. They should be using their individual profile accounts. 1. Number 2, when they can create awareness videos, but they have to just stick to their social accounts first. They can't go to other accounts. Okay. Number 3, they can request a media share from their partner hospital for visibility. For example, if a person A is practicing in person in a hospital ABC, then he can request for a media share. He can say that he can create a valuable content for the hospital relating to ophthal for this month. Can they give the social media coverage to this particular to him basically, so that he can create some nice content for the month, and which will be helpful for the organization to build up the practice or to build up the OPs or whatever basically. So the three is requesting a media. Apart from using your own social media, you can also request your hospital social media to do that. Number 4, be active on LinkedIn with professional updates, which could be like a case study or something which is really worthy to be showcased to other fellow doctors, or which can even attract international attention basically for better collaborations with people outside through medical tourism and other things. These are the 4 things that you need to keep in mind. Your plan could be something like this. You should first work on a centralized theme for the month. What is the centralized theme? I will come to you in the second part of it. Centralized theme for the month. You can also note down all your questions. You can ask me very specific questions during the right after this particular part. I'm going to open this for Q&A. You can ask me then. And again, I will ask you to, after the last part action is also over, I'm going to even open this floor again for Q&As. So here, what you can do is, this is, after so many experimentations and so many consultations, I'm giving you this. Again, you don't have to follow this strictly. You can just start using this to initially build up momentum. Later on, you can have your own combinations, but this is a good way to start. So first is, you can have social media posts with nice personalized images where you are there, where you're helping someone and there is some useful activity happening. You can look at, say, 1 post per week. It is an image based post, which is, it can be like 1 post per week. The second thing could be social media post videos, which could be like 1 video per week. You can look at 1 image post per week, 1 video per week, and once in a week, insightful post in LinkedIn. Or once in a fortnight or in a month also, you can have an insightful post. Insightful post is something about, you have done some research on the subject and you're publicizing it to people outside, who could be people from your fraternity, to look at you, to appreciate you, or even to hire you basically. So for that, you have to be available in the job market, which is LinkedIn, which is now continuously watched by these corporates and a lot of other people outside the world, outside India and other places. So 4 is, you should at least try for live in the partner hospital social handles. So at least once in 3 months, you should ask for a live, because live has a going live, as for example, FB live or an Instagram live or a YouTube live has a much better traction than doing solo posts. This is something that I would request you to follow. If you have specific questions, you can ask me. Number 2 is eye clinic. So what an eye clinic can do is, they should definitely have an organization page. Apart from the profile account of the doctor, there should be an organization page. And the organization page should be the primary point of all the engagements happening. So, but the organization page will be used by the doctor, the person who is basically running the show. So what can happen here is, a lot of awareness content can be created, which is awareness videos that can be created, all focusing on personal branding, which will help in personal branding and the clinic branding basically. So that is number 2. Number 3, what they can use social media for is to, run promos for camps that can happen in the clinic, if supposing they are planning for something like that, or they can collaborate with other hospitals to do a joint promo. So here the combination looks like this. So they can look at 2 to 3 posts per week, which could be like an image post. And then, like, when I say centralized theme, it has to be like, for example, there's a cataract month, cataract awareness month. You should not deviate from the topic. You should only talk about cataracts. If there are 2 to 3 themes in a month, you should look at what is the theme which is dear to you, which is very closer to your practice basically. You should pick up only that theme, and then your entire month has to be focusing only on that. In that way, you save a lot of your time. In that way, your energies are also very focused. So you can look at a social media post, and then you can look at videos post basically, and then you can go for 1 live per month, 1 live event, which means you can use the Facebook live, YouTube live, and Insta live. Basically, you can do a live activity for 20 to 30 minutes. That will be a good start for you if you have a single eye care clinic basically. Number 3, it's for single specialty eye hospitals basically. So you can use your organization page or account basically. That is the primary way how you can disseminate or start communicating to the people outside. You can create awareness and leverage more on personal branding and hospital branding. That becomes very important. Number 3 is, if you are the promoter of the organization, you should be the main hero. So you should at least have 50% of the content coming from you. And the remaining 50% of the content can come from others in your group, who could be like other ophthalmologists in your group, by taking turns You can also help them build their brand, but your branding has to be more than 50% or 50% at least. So what all you can do? See, again, when I'm giving you all these activities, even a smaller organization can also do more. But I'm just trying to look at the kind of a time that they have to justify between their practice and their work. So depends on how much you can take, you can do basically. So centralized theme for the month will be there for you. You can look at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube separately as 3 separate things. So starting from a theme post, 10 to 12 posts you can do. In Instagram also similar post, or with a little bit of tweaking you can change. You should look at least 1 reel per week, which is a video-based communication that you can do in Instagram. In Facebook, you can go theme-based 1 live per week. You can do 1 live program per week. So each week the doctors can change. And similar thing can be repeated in the Instagram and YouTube. It could be like 1 live program also, which gets streamed all across. So which gets streamed all across. That is also very much possible. The main theme video promo, reach campaign. So what happens here is the moment there is a specific theme for that particular month, you can create a master video for that particular month. So out of so many videos you are creating, 3 to 4 videos you are creating, there should be like 1 master video which has a maximum traction according to you, or which really has a momentum to build up. So that 1 video alone you can use it, and you can start doing paid promotion to make that particular awareness communication reach a lot of people. Number 2, you can have evergreen reach or lead campaigns on revenue generating treatments. Say, for example, if cataract is a revenue generating treatment for you for the surgery, which cataract surgery, then what you can do is you should be running silo campaigns, separate campaigns all throughout the month, every month, having a fixed budget. Say, for example, 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, or 20,000 rupees. There should be like specific campaigns running all across. It could be even this way. For example, you have created a video relating to cataract awareness, and the video has reached, say, 10,000 people or 20,000 people through the reach campaign. What you can do is you can even make another communication which talks about, say, if you are looking out for a cataract surgery, you can approach us or whatever, and that message can reach only these 10,000 or 20,000 people. So those who have seen your video already know more about you. And among these people, if you want to really convince them, if they are interested or if they have a need, basically, then they can even come and approach you through the advertisement, which can happen. So for example, the last part that we have is it could even be a chain as well. So the last part, it could be even a eye chain, basically. So when you have a multi-specialty hospital with major revenue from ophthalmology, or you have a super specialty hospital, wherein multi-super specialty hospital where eye is also a major specialty, basically, or you have a chain of hospitals. So what all you can do, you can use, of course, you should use your organization page or account for all your communications. You can create awareness videos, which could be in the form of personal branding or hospital branding with main focus on eye. So for example, if suppose it depends on the revenue earning capabilities, if there are 4 main specialties in the organization and 4 are earning equally, then you should give equal weightage. So based on the revenue earning capabilities, or if there's a potential in a market, based on that, you should give the social media awareness share. So I will do 1 post for this or 2 posts for this, depends on how much revenue is going to be really addressed or built through that particular specialty. It could be 50-50, could be 80-20 or 70-30. So depending on that, basically you can look at the content share. So out of 10 videos get created, 7 videos could be for other specialty, 3 videos could be for eye. So it depends on what exactly you want to look at. Number 3, hook should be there basically in that ophthal videos that you're going to be creating. Main hero, the person who is the head of the particular department, or the person who is running the show, should be the main hero, plus others should be taking turns by collaborating on various topics. Basically, there should be continuity. Look at cross-channel marketing. The 4th thing that they can look at is, since it's a huge network, they need huge feeding, and the huge feeding can come through cross-channel marketing. There are various other ways how you can collaborate with other YouTube channels, other digital medias, other digital blogs, basically, who are talking a lot about eye. So how you can collaborate with them, talk about your expertise in those mediums. Now, so far what you have spoken is about speaking about ourselves or about our expertise in our mediums. So how you can even use the cross-channel marketing in other mediums and leverage or build your brand. Number 2 is specialty collaborations. Say, for example, if supposing yours is only a eye hospital or even a eye hospital with other specializations, you see patients who are diabetic, they have the correlation to eye. Then the patients who have this particular thing have correlation to. So there are departments which are like very much supportive to each other. If patients come here, they are likely to have this eye problem also. How do you really look at collaborations between these specialties all across? Even if yours is a solo eye practice, how do you really collaborate with other solo practice, so solo specialty practices, wherein you see there's a correlation basically? So how you can do all that is something that you can look at. You can also leverage on their social media. You can also ask them to leverage on your social media. In that way, both the brands can get good mileage for each other. And the very important thing that we should all get ready now, as the markets are slowly looking at opening, is medical tourism. If you're very strong in your subject, there are a lot of patients who are waiting to come to India to get treated. Just excuse me. Yes. So what you can do, supposing if you're looking at this kind of a combination. So one is you can look at a lot of content that we have already explained, that I already explained to you. The major part of it remains the same. Apart from that, you can also start concentrating on the blog post, a dedicated blog post, a long blog post, not just writing 100 to 200 words. That doesn't make sense today. Look at a blog which could be 5,000 words, 10,000 words, 15,000 words, or 20,000 words, because already the 100, 200, 300, 500 game is over. So the longer you build your blog, but with a lot of meaningful content and a lot of imageries in it and the video components, then it makes a very nice blog format altogether. The simple idea is like this. Supposing if you go and search in Google and if there is an article on the subject, cataract subject, okay, and if that article is say 100, say 500 words, how you can really outbid that particular article is like this. You can write an article which could be even 1,000 words, 2,000 words, or 3,000 words. And the earlier article only had text. You can add the text, you can add images, you can add videos, you can add infographics. You have to make that content more and more appealing. The more and more appealing the content gets developed, then what Google does is basically it just needs the best content to be coming on the top. In that way, your content comes on the top. That is one. Another way of looking at this, see, already there is too much competition on this subject. So there are a lot of people who have already built so much content. So should I also be competing in the same space? You don't have to be competing. What is the short way out for you? You can just go regional. The same article, if you write it in your regional language, there the competition may be relatively less. And if you're going to build a nice content there, then it's very easy for you to score up the top. So go regional and go to the top. The medical tourism, if you're looking at medical tourism, even if you have eye hospital or anywhere, basically in any of these three segments, know that this is a very lucrative market to get into, and the kind of revenues and the kind of support system that we can create and also increase the brand image of India is very high when we look at medical tourism as a subject. So there are a lot of bodies like Service Export Promotion Council of India who are doing a lot of work in this particular space. You should also get in touch with them, and their main focus is to promote medical tourism and also promoting other services. So here, if you see what you can do in Facebook, what you can do in Insta, what you can do in YouTube, LinkedIn, and all that is mentioned here. Country specific campaigns you can run. Country specific. Say, for example, you got a patient from Africa, say in a very specific part of Africa. You can run a campaign which only goes to that particular part of Africa, and those only people can see it. The moment they see, yes, somebody from that particular part of Africa has gone to India to get treated and come back and is giving these happy testimonials, then yes, they can also take up such an activity, go there, supposing they have a need, come back getting treated like them. So that builds a lot of social proof. Similar thing you can repeat in Insta and YouTube. And of course, this is where your LinkedIn really helps. Supposing if you're getting into LinkedIn, it is not for patients. Let me be very clear with you. If you're going to be into LinkedIn, know that LinkedIn is going to be a bigger game that you should be playing. You should be looking at medical tourism agencies, should be looking at guys doing medical tourism in a very, very professional way, government agencies, government offices, good licensing can happen, showcasing your work, good case studies for better reach within your fraternity and for better and bigger opportunities. So similar thing you can try, which is a lead campaign. First could be an awareness campaign that you can try. If you're planning to enter a market, you cannot enter directly just like that by asking them to come to you. You have to build favorable communication first, 2-3 rounds of favorable communication, and after that you can do a specific lead generation campaign, generate the leads, talk to the audience, understand their queries, understand how you can really help them out, and from there you can get started in facilitating patients coming from that country to our country. And then you can also have a consistent communication of your testimonials of these specific patients who are willing to give testimonials. It has to be, testimonials have to come willingly, we can't be forceful, so it has to come happily, and all those happy testimonials have to be, can be collected with the patient consent, of course, and it has to be shared. And in LinkedIn, if you're looking at training as a market, yes, of course, that is a nice thing to move ahead. And when you look at the influencer collaboration, that's when you are talking about other social medias. Say, for example, whatever you're doing in your social media is on one side, but if you want to build immediate traction, I'll give you an easy formula also. For example, you have I've taken this example, which is a common example you can find in even anywhere in India for various different. There are a lot of such channels actually. I've taken this example of Behind Woods TV. Okay, Behind Woods TV is basically a YouTube channel which talks about a lot of Kollywood related information, cinema, Tamil cinema related information. They have tons of videos about whatever celebs and all that stuff. But these guys, they did a small research and then they found out basically that out of their audiences that they have, there are a lot of people who are interested in knowing a lot about medical related stuff. So then what they did was they started approaching doctors and asking these doctors to share some information on very specific subjects which are related to the audience's interest. Basically, these audiences are very much interested to know about basically the physical appearances, how they can have a six-pack, because they're seeing all the heroes have six-pack, and how can they have? So they got a cosmetologist, they got someone from various different specialties, and all these doctors came to this platform. They gave one video, and each video, if you see, has got 45,000 views and so many 219,000 views, 214,000 views, a lot of views basically. And all these doctors were like somewhere famous already. Some became famous because of this. And because of these videos got posted in this particular platform, the kind of social media follow up in their respective platforms increased multifolds only because of these videos here. So if you want immediate reach, fast track the reach, then you go for a common medium where the audience are already there and there are channels who are already working for it. They may charge you some money for this, but let me tell you, it is worth it. The moment you go with such platforms, the visibility increases multifold. You can't even imagine the kind of reach it has got. But you should go with a killer content, or they can even suggest you some killer content basically. Now today, fast tracking success is very easy because somebody's already built success from scratch. We just have to leverage their platform and build our success. So if you're smart enough, you just have to go get started with it. Before I get on to the last part, which is action, if you have any questions, you can ask me now. Any questions? Anybody has? Was I too fast in trying to tell a lot of things? Anyways, we have the video recording. Always go through to understand what I spoke about. But still, if you have any specific questions, you can ask me now before I go to the last part, which is the action I'm going to show you how you can do. But I would love if this could be a workshop wherein I could even make you do it during a 1-day session or a 2-day session or whatever. Maybe based on your interest, you can also ask it to send it to if you want such a session basically. Anyone has any questions, they can ask me now. Okay, thank you for that.
I have made him unmute, they can.
Yeah, they can unmute and they can ask questions. Anyone has any difficulties in unmuting? I don't know, maybe. Which paid campaigns do you think specifically works for ophthalmology marketing? So there's a question from Priya Dedia. Okay, so what I would suggest, ma'am, there are two things basically that I would recommend. One is need-based marketing. Another is the awareness marketing. Under need-based marketing, what happens is people are having a need, they're going for a specific search. For example, if I want to know how a cataract surgery is done, or if supposing I have a specific question relating to a cataract surgery, I go to YouTube and specifically type that. Say, for example, is cataract surgery painful or whatever, basically. How many days does it take to recover or whatever? I have a specific question. And when I go and Google it, when I go and search in YouTube, I get a specific video basically that has a specific reply. That is called need-based marketing. So when somebody has a need, and if your video is not going to come up on top organically, for those videos you can promote because the audience is ready. Simplest and straightforward way for you to get success. One. Another is awareness video. For example, there are a lot of people, see, all the people are not requiring any surgery at this point in time. See, there are a lot of people who are there who may know basically, who may require a surgery, and they may not be in social media also, for example. So what happens is, for these people, you should give them really helpful information, awareness communication or awareness videos on, say, for example, cataract cataract surgery more particularly. The moment you make this particular video reach in regional language to a lot of people over a period of time, I think that will build a very good amount of audience. So one is the need-based marketing, another is the the awareness marketing that will work for you in this particular case.
So according to you, YouTube campaigns, paid campaigns are the best.
YouTube paid campaigns for need-based marketing is best because you are able to reach the audience when the audience is really looking out for information. One. Number two, and you are anyway going to geographically restrict that audience. They are not going to see the video in some part of India. They are going to see the video only in your region where they're going to search for it. In that way, that is best. If somebody is looking for doing a cataract surgery in that particular area, and if that particular region you are available there, then it makes every sense for you to be available as a first option for them. Number two is, you also have to build an audience over a period of time to make them know that you are the best in eye. So for that, you have to do a lot of awareness videos, and you can have this a consistent approach to make your awareness videos reach more people. Like how I showed you the example of Dr. Lalit, the Amrit Hospital as an example. And the third thing that you can do is, you can do a lead-based campaign, which nobody will know. You can do a directed lead-based campaign in your specific geographical area, wherein you can reach them in multiple languages. You can create the campaign, reach them, get those leads, talk to those leads, understand the quality, and then scale your campaign. These three things you can.
What is lead-based campaign?
Okay, fine. There are multiple ways how you can run a campaign in Facebook. Okay, so one way is through the reach, which means I have created a video. I just want this video to be seen by 100,000 people or whatever people. So
yes,
the video starts reaching a lot of people, only viewership is built.
Yes.
Why
yes.
this is done is, this is to build the brand awareness, credibility, visibility, all that factor. That is one. Number two is, you want a very pointed campaign. For example, you have given one option for cataract surgery, and you have tied up with one organization, and you can even pay, the people can pay the surgery cost in EMI or in any other format, basically. So you're coming up with some solution to people which can help people. Okay, that you want, it has to reach a lot of people. So you create a nice advertisement kind of a format, and you make this advertisement like how you are posting the advertisement in a paper or whatever. Similarly, you create an advertisement, and you make this advertisement reach only those specific audiences. Say, for example, it is LASIK. It reaches only, say, between, say, 25 to 45, yeah, whatever, that age group only, this age group only, whatever. You can make them reach, and they can, by clicking on the campaign, if they are interested, they can give their information, name, mobile, email, or whatever, and they can give submit button, and you will get their specific name, mobile, email, everything. So later on, your receptionist can call them up to understand their interest levels as to when they can fix a meeting, and then they can take it. That's the lead campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is your experience with the Google AdWords campaign for ophthalmology marketing? Okay,
fine. Again, Google AdWords come under, there are two forms of Google advertising. One is the search-based ad, another is the display advertising. Search-based ad comes under the criteria of, and under the category of need-based marketing. So they have a need, they're looking at it,
and they are searching for you.
Exactly, Search ad works pretty well. Display ads don't go for it initially, unless and otherwise you have made very good money and you only want to push your robotic surgeries and
because
things like that.
Because till now, our experience in all the things that we have tried is that Google AdWords campaign only works well.
there is a method. See, even in Facebook, the biggest problem is people still don't know how to leverage it properly. When you see there is an audience, we need to know that it's a captive audience. They are inside a platform. We can convince them over a period of time, and we just have to look
No,
at in a
but
small geographic.
if, in case if I also have to search for something, I don't go to Facebook to search for it. I would always type it on Google and find out about it.
That's what I was trying to tell you, man. There are two things. When you are searching for something and when something is finding you. Facebook is not for searching. Facebook is to make your communication reach them. That's where it comes under awareness marketing. What all you want to do under awareness, you can do under Facebook. But if you want to do search, those who are searching for you now, they go to Google, they go to YouTube. Because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. People think about other Yahoo, Bing and all that. But next to Google, YouTube is a Google's product, which is the second largest search engine. So if you ask me what I would prioritize my budget is, first those who are searching, we should be available to them. Second comes the awareness marketing also, in a way. So it depends on how you want to this thing, basically, allocate your budget.
We have not tried YouTube campaigns till now. So, but now I think that it is a better thing to start off.
Yes, definitely. See, all these campaigns, my only recommendation to all of you is, whenever you're trying to test some campaign, don't do half one-off or just a half-baked campaign. Say, for example, when you're trying Google Ads, you spend 5,000 rupees this month. Or how much money do you spend on? How much money you're spending on Google Ads, ma'am?
It depends. See, because ophthalmic is a very seasonal practice. So if I feel if the season is down and there are lots of festivities and I know that OPD will be definitely coming low, so that time we don't spend much.
Okay.
But when we see that it is a full season, so that time we give full push.
Very good, very good. See, basically, in this case, what I would suggest is, say, for example, if you have a 10,000 as a budget every month, what I would only request you to do is, track the 10,000 budget resulting in the ROI.
Correct.
Very simple. Very simple.
No,
every
ROI
month if you're spending,
is definitely good with the Google AdWords campaigns. Definitely good.
Yeah. So just make sure that if it is really good, and when you know the time is right, you just have to scale up. You should not get stuck.
Yeah.
Because I know my client, I know one of my clients, basically, he started only with Google Ads, and he still does only one thing, which is Google Ads. And with him, it is very different. No, when he comes to me, he will say only one thing: Ilyas, start Google Ads, and I should be on the top. That is the one-line brief that he will give me. And he will add 5 lakh rupees in his credit card, and he will start the campaign. And he will not stop the campaign till the budget is over with the particular month.
No, not that way. We are definitely monitoring, but obviously it's only Google AdWords campaign also someone does. It will definitely give them an edge over others.
That's what. But he's not a fool, right? I'm just telling you what happens.
Yeah.
The moment he does this campaign, he has done his maths already. So when he spends 5 lakhs, he makes 1.5 crores.
Correct.
He knows his maths.
Correct.
And how much of that is working? Every day it is decreasing only because of the competition increase.
Correct.
Very simple.
Yeah.
And where you target matters. Does it is local,
mainly
national,
the
India,
that we want to outside. Yeah.
Very nice to have.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
So there's a question that is asked here: is Quora a good medium for medical marketing? Of course, yes. It is a very good marketing medium for you to market in Quora. Quora is a very good medium for you to market because Quora is a search engine of questions. People have questions, they want to find answers, they come to Quora. And if you are going to be there giving them nice, useful, really good stuff to them, and a lot of people are going to watch on it, comment on it, it is going to be an asset which is going to be there forever. And there are a lot of such views that I know of, because of such nice information being shared by doctors. They continuously keep getting calls by looking at that one comment or that one information or one piece of content that they would have shared at one point in time, answering a particular question which was not asked somewhere or anywhere, which was only there in that particular space in Quora. Yes, of course, you should start concentrating on that. So Sonali Gupta has asked me another question. So also, what are your views about Instagram as a platform for advertisement? Yes. So basically, Instagram and Facebook, both are the products of Facebook. Okay, so when you are taking an advertising leap basically into social media and more particularly Facebook or Instagram, You can actually advertise in both the platforms simultaneously to see the results. Or if you want to go only Facebook or you want to go only Instagram, you can either way go. What I have seen, yes, of course, the Instagram engagement is very, very high. At these times, we are able to see very good traction in the Instagram also. But what really works, there are again two sides of campaigns only. One is the reach campaign. Supposing if you have really valuable content, it reaches like crazy. Number two, if you have a very pointed communication wherein you have something really useful offer to give to people, or something that would be like making them take an immediate decision. Instagram is more for like a LASIK surgery kind of a thing. So a lot of people out there who are looking out to have, it's more of an aesthetic medium. So you can be very specific about the medium, you can be very specific about the audience, and you can run an audience, you can run a campaign based on that. Even lead campaigns will work really well in Insta alone if you're looking at. So any other questions anybody has here? Any other questions before I go to the next subject? Okay, fine. Let me go to the
two more questions.
Yeah.
Can I post you?
Sorry, I didn't see that. Is it in your view? What type of in your view, what type of content should we put on Facebook? So actually, I've just shared that maybe I didn't brief it properly or what, I don't know. So what I would request is, I want you to, I will maybe in the action part, I will answer this in detail. I'll just answer that Sonali Gupta in that my answer part in detail about this. Yeah. Sir, you have any questions, sir? So do we have any PRO agencies which can be hired is another question, right?
Yeah.
So I can see the platform back in India. And how to reach rural population through mass media's smartphone availability is less. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is one Dr. Srigant Bhagwant who has asked this question. Do we have any PRO agencies which can be hired? So PRO agencies in what sense, I don't know. Maybe you're looking at traditional PRO agencies who can do physical marketing for you, that you may have to clarify. Number two, if you're asking about digital marketing agencies, yes, there are a lot of digital marketing agencies available for you to carry out work. You can also get trained, or you can also get your staff trained on one or two aspects of digital marketing also. And you can also run the marketing on your own as well. The second part is to reach rural population through social media, smartphone. Actually speaking, now during this COVID time, what you have seen is the smartphone penetration has increased. It, as per the statistics which is given by Hootsuite, more than 91% of population in India has these smartphones. That's what they're saying. We don't know yet, but there is a very nice penetration which has happened. We can actually not say today that people don't have access to mobile phones. They may not have access to TVs, but they have access to mobile phones. They may not have access to so many other things, but they have very good access to mobile phones, and more particularly smartphones. Yes, because all these campaigns that I'm talking to you about, tier 3, tier 4 locations and all that, we couldn't believe it actually with most of my clients in the last 1.5 years, right during this COVID, and now tier 3, tier 4 location where they were thinking even to create a website. Should I even have a website? Basically, now those websites are getting their inquiry forms filled up like crazy for doctor appointments, and these doctors can't believe it. When we signed up the contract 3 years back, we had to tell them this infra has to be set up, but we were not expecting COVID to come. But the process accelerated so high that today the inquiry forms have the count has gone up actually. So people are very much ready today. Only thing is that, are we visible in the, have we built our digital infrastructure right? If we have built our digital infrastructure, we can see that visibility game really giving us rewards. Do you provide training in specific paid traffic campaign? If you like to type, yeah, yes, of course we do provide specific trainings on YouTube marketing or Facebook marketing as well. So we can also request, if supposing most of you are interested, we can do a specific session with people here, like a workshop, wherein we also want you to get your hands dirty, try few things, and experiment and see some success basically. So let me just continue with my portion now. The last part that I have is action. I've given you the idea about the plan, and the idea plan is over. Now the third part is action. Now, how do you really do it? Whatever I just told you. So there are 4 things that you should know before you action, or as you start getting into action. First is, you should know what are the tools you're going to use, and do you have a content calendar ready? Does it match with your core objective, or who is going to execute it? Okay, first we are going to look at this question. What are the tools you are going to use? First thing is, there are 3 things. Under this first component called tools, there are 3 things. One is platform, Number 2 is design and video editing. Number 3 is scheduling. So first you have to pick up which 1, 2 or 3 platforms or 4 platforms that you're going to use. Initially, if you're just getting started, start with one. Later on, you can add multiple others as well. Initially, it could be for a month or so, or 2 months or 3 months. You can just have few and then you can start building more on it. So first is a platform that you may have to choose. Why this is necessary? Because I see a lot of people are inconsistent with their social media approach. They do random posting. There is no consistency. And because of it, a lot of hassles to come in. Number 2. So be specific about this part. Number 2, design and video editing, where you can get your designs ready. Supposing if you have an agency, they will do the designs for you. If you don't have an agency, if you have to develop content on your own, you can go to this website called Canva. Canva is a website that can help you build designs for free. You just have to know what you have to write, and lot of templates are already present. You just have to type something, whatever you want to type, and then you can download it free of cost. So you can start using this tool free initially. Later on, you can get into a paid mode if suppose you want to build a lot of content. But initially, the free software, the free tool alone is sufficient enough for you to build very nice post for your camps or for your social media, whatever. Second thing is video editing. Supposing if you have a video, there are a lot of apps available already in your phone or whatever. If supposing you can do your video editing in your phone itself, then nothing like it. Or if you want to do it in a desktop, there are other free video editing softwares available that you can make use of. First, you choose a platform. Second, you get your designs ready. Third, you get your video. The second part of the second thing is video editing part to be made ready from your side. The third thing is scheduling. Say, for example, if you want to be consistent in social media, you can't be doing posting every day. You will be busy. You will be totally busy. One day with all the motivation because you attended the class today or the session today, you want to go and post something today, but tomorrow what happens? The motivation level goes down. So for that to be avoided, but for you have to be consistent, there's something called scheduling option, which is available inbuilt in Facebook itself. Say, for example, if you want to schedule content for the next 1 month, say each day one post has to go. You can sit in Facebook one time for an hour. You can schedule all the posts to say that on these dates, these posts have to go. When it is getting scheduled in Facebook, it can get even posted in Instagram. Supposing if you want the same content to be repeated. So manual scheduling is very much available, inbuilt, free of cost by the platform provider. It is available in Facebook, not available in LinkedIn, not available in YouTube and all that. So this is available on one. Number 2, schedule inbuilt. Sorry, manual. One is manual thing that you can do, which is not possible. So second is a schedule inbuilt, which is available in Facebook and Instagram. The third thing is there are softwares available to do it. Say, for example, if you want to do hosting this thing, posting in multiple locations, and all has to go in a proper direction, then you can start using softwares like these. For example, we use the software called Risely. Then there are other softwares like Hootsuite, all these other things. Basically, you can even start with this software Risely if you just have only one account, first free of cost, because this will save a lot of your time. And by just getting started with this account, and if you see value, then you can purchase this account. But again, the cost is the least which is available, like $5, $9. You can initially start. I don't think you will need more than doing 30 posts a month. So you can just start with a free account, and you can start continuing with this account for longer till you want to grow your presence. The tip that I want to give you here is, say, for example, if you want to be available for one whole month, you just have to spend, say, 2 to 3 hours only in a month. Say, for example, on a Sunday, if you are relatively free, you can sit for 2 to 3 hours. You can start opening your Zoom, start recording it. You don't, if you are comfortable with phone recording, you do the phone recording. If you're comfortable with system, laptop kind of a setup, you open your Zoom and start the recording, solo recording. And then you can download all the recording. You can edit the video, give it outside for editing, or do anything for example, for that matter. Or if it doesn't require editing also, no problem. Get those videos ready. 4 videos is what you need for the entire month. Each video can go in a week, basically. So you can schedule all these videos, say on the beginning or on the middle, or whenever you think there is an audience reach more, you can schedule this video and you can sit back and relax. For the entire month, you created the content. You don't have to again go back and create content. Whenever you feel time, you can just look at the performance. You can just look at the interactions, who has liked it, who has shared it, or whatever, or how many views this particular video has gained. Follow this simple tactic, you will be able to create content for the entire month. Or if you can spend a day, you can even create for 3 months or even 6 months. That's what we precisely do with some of the clients who are pretty busy. You can't catch them. You give them several reminders for creating content, and that is not going to come your way, So you catch them on one particular Sunday, and then you hire a camera crew, and then we shoot them the entire day. So we give them all the topics for the entire 6 months or 3 months. The entire video is ready. They can even do changeovers, and so that everything looks like fresh and new. And then when the editing happens, we can slice down the topics to 5 minutes each. Don't talk for more than 5 minutes. 5 minutes is good enough for an awareness video, maximum 5 minutes, and then it can be circulated. Okay, when you have a social media thing or a platform like this scheduling software, it can do scheduling in multiple places. You just have to check which software you're using, how it can be scheduled, which will save a lot of your time. Okay, so that is the first part I want to tell you. This second thing is, do you have a content calendar ready? What is this content calendar? So you have to know there are three things basically when you are preparing a content calendar. So what kind of content should go into your social media? So I spoke to you about the first part, tools part. The second part is about the content. Preparing a calendar based on theme. On what theme should the calendar be based on? In this particular month, what should be talking about? What is the topic for the next month? What is the topic for the month after that? So you should have a clear-cut calendar theme. Number two, how do you create content for that calendar? So you know that in this particular month, you have to talk about cataract. But what in cataract? I already spoke about what is cataract surgery. Should I be repeating the same thing? No. Where you can look out for ideas that I'm going to give you second. Number three is a simple basic content calendar format for you to take up from this class, from this session basically. First thing, okay. So how do you pick up a theme? You go to this calendars which are available online. We have picked up few themes here. For example, the next month, October, is about blindness awareness month or World Sight Day, actually, World Sight Day, eye injury prevention month or whatever. November is about diabetic eye disease awareness month. So you can pick up a topic which is the central theme of the month, and then you can start talking about it. It can be about this, or it can be specific to what you want to talk, or it could be something which is trending. Say, for example, black fungus was not a calendar theme like this, but it was something trending, right? So, but you can't be waiting for something trending to happen that time, or you can only do trending videos also. That is another nice strategy that you can look at. So, but you should start with something which is theme based, because these themes will become the trend of the month any which way. So you can go with any one of these two things or have a combination of these and prepare a calendar plan. So first you have to fix up that. Number two, how do you do content research? What topic you should be talking about? See, you're talking about cataract and you should be talking about basic stuff, or what people are wanting to know about cataract exactly at this point in time. The basic and the simplest way for you to find out this content trending stuff is you go to Google, type that particular keyword, say for example, cataract or cataract surgery, whatever, and then go to news section. Under news section, you will know basically what people are talking about in this particular topic now. So you can pick up very nice informative stuff, which is actually what the people are looking forward to know, or which is already being spoken about, where people want to know more about it. You can pick up the topic from here. You can add a lot more value to it and then prepare a content based on this. Number two, you can just go type in Google and then you get a lot of suggestions. All these suggestions come with a lot of parts. Say, for example, cataract surgery cost is a keyword. Cataracts meaning in Tamil is a keyword. Cataract surgery, YouTube is a keyword. Cataract surgery cost in Chennai is a keyword, which means even in your own location, people are looking to know only the cost of that surgery. That is a very valuable content that you should be creating. You don't have to give a conclusive one figure. You can even say it's a range, but you have to explain them what actually adds, what actually makes up the cost, or what gets covered in the cost. That can be a very nice content to share. And the third way to look at is, there is this section called people also ask. You type any keyword and then in the Google, you see this thing called people also ask. Under this, what Google says is, even before you could type this thing, there are a lot of people who have already come here, searched on this topic, and they have already asked these questions. So you don't have to break your head. If you're looking out answers for these questions, just come and click this particular part. I will give you the answer Google is saying. So you just have to pick up these questions from Google, which could be related to what content you are going to prepare in the form of a video or in the form of an image post, and then you can get going with it. And supposing if you are doing a Facebook live activity, then nothing like it. You should definitely consider this. The second, another way of doing content research is this. Sorry, which part? Okay, type 4. Type 4 is like this. You go to, we went to Facebook, sorry, YouTube, sorry, Google first. And the second thing is you should go to YouTube second. So YouTube then. And if you go to YouTube, there you will find a lot of content with different things. Cataract surgery procedure, laser. So a lot of things basically. Cataract in Hindi itself is a keyword. So such things people are asking. And if you are going to provide information on these areas, your content visibility is going to be very, very high. And then another way to search the content or another way to create a nice content is like this. You go to YouTube, you search for that content and then go to filters. Filters is the area that you click on this particular icon here, this icon. Then you can go to something called view count. When you go to view count, what happens is you will be able to know basically what is the kind of maximum view that people, which video had the maximum view under this particular subject, which means what is the most demanded content in this subject, which is watched by a lot of people in the world. Then you can actually create a content much better than that, so that your content can become one of such content in future. So you see this particular content on cataract is called Cataract Surgical Revolution. 15 million views have come here. Actually, it's a 6 years old video. 5.8 million in another video, and likewise basically. And then there is a testimonial video which has got 4.7 million views. So basically it is all about what content is really working or has already worked or somebody has experimented on it, whether it is reached organically or through paid promotion. There is something which is a case study worth to understand what kind of content we should be creating. So this is for you to do your content research. If you follow these simple methods, you can build wonderful and beautiful and pointed content. Okay, another way to do content research is you can use tools like BuzzSumo. This is a tool which is available for you to find out what anyone in the world or any part of India is talking about. What are they really communicating in the social media platforms when they're talking about this particular subject? Say, for example, if I just type cataracts here in this particular BuzzSumo tool, I will be able to know in the entire world or in the entire India what all posts are related or where all people are using this keyword called cataracts. What happens in that is brilliant ideas will come. There are a lot of people out in the world who are doing wonderful campaigns. We may not even think about such areas at all, but maybe very relevant to our market. We just have to pick up cues from there and use it to suit for our market. In that way, we can fast track growth. So just trying to understand what others are doing and then what better we can do to improvise on the pitch. So this is also a software which is available initially free of cost. You have limited editions, limited entries available to you, but that itself is sufficient enough for you to get the ideas. Later on, if you're interested, you can go for more awareness on the subject, more information on the subject. The third part is build a simple calendar format. Simple calendar, as simple as this. To just get started, you just say, what is the serial number? You just say the platform. You have to say what is the theme for the month. And then you have to mention basically what is because sometimes you may have some trending videos also. So you just have to mention the theme. It is not going to be the same theme all throughout. Maybe you get an award, you got recognized somewhere, you presented in a CME. All these things will also come. So when such things come, you may be able to add such things in the calendar. So what should the design communication be? What should be the description? When the content deadline is, when do you have to get the content ready? There will be few things like once that I told you, creating this video or the images that you can get ready before itself. For that, you don't really have to wait. But there will be few other things which will get ready only at that moment. Like, for example, you getting an award, the photo of that will be appearing only after you get it. So for such things, you don't have to mention a deadline, but you can mention something when you're going to post it, when you're going to schedule it. It's a simple calendar format available. You can follow this format for you to get started. This is sufficient enough for now. Okay. And there are a few things that I wanted to tell you here. One tip that I want to tell you is get the sizes right. A lot of people who upload content in social media are not at all aware of the sizes which are available. What are the exact sizes of post? What is the exact size of the profile banner, profile photo, or the banner on the top, or whatever basically. So if you want to know what is the size of Facebook banner, instead of saying what is the size of the Facebook banner, the real keyword for you to use is cheat sheet. Use this keyword called cheat sheet, Facebook cheat sheet, Instagram cheat sheet 2021, whatever. The moment you type something like that, you will get something like this. This is the area, this is the size. So when you get such sizes, you can go to the tool called Canva, which is a free tool, get the designs ready, and then upload it on your own, and it will look like picture perfect, like an agency work. So you can really make use of the tools. And the sheet which is available, this is available for everything, even for LinkedIn, for YouTube, whatever is there. Just use this keyword called cheat sheet, Facebook cheat sheet 2021, something like that, because the sizes of these platforms also keep varying frequently. Facebook ad dimensions. Say, for example, that is one way of getting the information. Another is you can also go to Facebook site directly, and for you will not find a lot of information. For that, you just have to follow the link that I gave you below. In similar such links, you will be able to get the exact proportion, ratio, and everything basically. So this is another way to find out basically how you can. Just hold on. Okay. Third thing is very important for us to know. Third is who is going to execute it. So the first thing that you understood was about the tools. Second thing is about basically the kind of content research that you can do, where all you can pick up the content from, and how you are going to build the content. The third thing is basically about who is going to execute it. So you should have very clear cutoff understanding about this. So first method is do it yourself. If you are going to do it yourself, you have to plan your time properly well. If it is a Sunday or whatever is the time, you have to be consistent in doing it. Only then it will have a very good reach. Number two, if you can't do it yourself, train a member in your organization who can handle it for you and give you timely reports so that you can check the reports at your leisure and convenience. Number three, see, it is all about the cost factor. Number two is little cost, because if you have an employee already, you can actually get them. Third is you hire a freelancer who are not going to be very expensive. They do one-time job. They do the scheduling for you. They work for you 2-3 days in a month or whatever. Then they give you the control and then they come out or whatever, basically. They complete the project or they handle the project or it's a part-time project or whatever. Third is hiring a freelancer. Fourth is hiring an agency. Supposing if you yourself can't do really full, you are fully busy. You want an agency to take over because the revenues coming in and you want to build your revenues very fast, then an agency comes into picture. Or the fifth thing is execution by your employee. You have in-house team. If you are a bigger organization, you have an in-house team, but you get the consultation from an agency, because the employees may not know what is the now trending subject in the digital world. They may have to get fresh ideas to revamp their digital strategy. So the consultation can come from agency. Execution can happen by your internal team. So there are 5 models for you to look at when you want to execute the content. Okay. The fourth part is analytics and ROI. So when you're actioning it, you should be very, very clear about this analytics and ROI. So what is this analytics and ROI? First is you should test the content once posted. So how do you know basically what kind of content works? You don't have to ask Elias. You don't have to ask anybody. You just have to experiment it. In that way, you know. Okay. I'll tell you how this works. We'll go one by one on this part. First is test the content once posted, which means, for example, when you post a content, you should start with, creating 10 pieces of content. Start posting each content, one content per day or whatever, basically over a period of time. Then stop and just observe the reactions. Say, for example, if you go to the analytics part of it in Facebook, you will understand basically what kind of reach each post has got. Organic reach. In this case, in this particular slide I've shown you, there is one post which has got 1,200 views. Another has reached 1,200 people it has reached. Another has got 522 reach. Another has got 70 reach. So if you see in this overall thing, actually speaking, what gets more reach is a video. And that too, a doctor coming and talking on that particular subject gets more reach. Somebody asked me what content has more reach. The first thing that has a fantastic reach organically is the Facebook Live or the Insta Live that you can go. That I will show you the evidence now. That has the fantastic reach. The second best reach that you have is a video of a doctor where a doctor comes and talks on a specific subject relevant to that occasion. The third best is what you have, the image post. But if you really follow the video format well, you can really do a rocking show with your coverage organically also. Here I have an example of a hospital. They did a post before COVID and they did an activity or some event. They got 60 plus 2 likes. And then the twins got delivered during COVID, and the doctor took a picture and then they posted it, and it got 159 likes, 45 comments, and 5 shares and all that. When the same doctor, we advised them to go live. When the same doctor went live, the reach, actually they have a very less social media. They were actually building the social media presence. When the same doctor went live, she had nearly 1,000 people watching her video. It was 958 that time. Later it crossed 1,000 views. 1,000 people watching at the same time. That was a very nice thing to look at, this activity through the FB live. Okay. Similar thing, we tried this with another doctor basically. And when he tried doing it for another office branches in Bangladesh, he was sitting in India and he was trying to connect with the Bangladesh unit, and they were trying to do a live. 10,000 people, nearly 10,000, 9,100 people, 10,000 people nearly watched the video of that particular live program. And all this happened without spending one single rupee. How does this work? When Facebook wants to promote itself, Facebook does not spend advertising campaign budget there directly on the promo. They promote those who are using the new features. Supposing if you use the live feature today, you will get the unfair advantage. Earlier, when Facebook started, when only you just do a post, it will reach organically. Now, if you do, it will not reach. Now, if you use Facebook Live, it will reach. Tomorrow, what will work? We don't know. When the new feature comes, it will work. So these guys are very smart. They want you to use the new features. Basically, the more and more use these features. Now at present, if you use Facebook Live, I'm sure you're going to have fantastic traction, because we have tried this in various different industries and it is having fantabulous results. The second thing that you should check is the analytics. What is the kind of a performance of your particular page in the last 1 month, 1 week, basically? Are you really headed in the right direction or not? Do you really need the kind of support that you have to improvise or not, or whatever, basically? The third measurement happens through the phone calls, the website inquiries that come to your page, the chats, if you have a chat bot in your page, or the direct walk-ins. So you should keep a note on the source of patients, basically. The moment you have a check on that, then you can have a very clear tracking of the results. This is something a lot of people don't have. Even phone calls, for that matter, they have landline numbers, which is a very wrong practice. Should have something called as a cloud telephony number. The moment you have a cloud telephony number, what happens is all your calls are recorded. This happened in one of my clients' place, basically. So they had one of their patients. One of the patients called up and they said he was a cardiac surgeon. He's a cardiac surgeon, actually. One of the patients called up and it landed in the reception, and the reception person was not aware that actually all the calls are recorded. It is in cloud telephony. She started usually answering in the usual tone. It is in tier 3 location. The hospital is in tier 3 location. Usual tone saying that the doctor is busy. You can't see him now, or whatever, basically. And then on one Sunday evening, when doctor had time, he was going through all the calls, and then he found out basically this particular person was giving all these excuses, whereas that particular day the doctor was relatively free. He could have really taken up that appointment and really helped that patient, but because of some lazy attitude and some usual formats that these people have in communicating to the patients, it was a big disaster that time. Later, when they understand, basically the phone calls are recorded, they are getting monitored and all those things, basically a lot of improvement can happen to your organization. One. Number two, even you, without your knowledge, you will miss a lot of phone calls. Unless you get a software like that in place, which is not going to be expensive, but you should definitely have a software like that, which records all the phone calls for you to know the performance. Today, before people step out of their homes, they want to call and make sure the doctors are available, and then only they're coming in. So this is your main entry. So for you to even measure your digital performance, you should get the phone calls part really sorted out with the cloud telephony, and also keep your website forms working, because today people are filling up forms. So this is just an overview. Supposing if you want to use today, basically what do you really use for what? You use FB Live, which is giving you a lot of traction. Facebook stories are really working well. Facebook ads are really good. Facebook Marketplace, supposing if you want to recruit people, is also good. And then the similar things you can try with Insta, and then you can try something to do with in LinkedIn. You can do actually have a better content reach than FB, even with lesser audience. You can do targeted ads if supposing you want to convince them about whatever case study you have. And then with YouTube, you can have a very nice organic reach, and you can get very good visibility through the discovery ads. So your peak time in your career is limited. The moment you know that you are on the peak of your career and you have a limited time span of say 10 years, 20 years, or whatever is the time, that is the time when you have to reach more to serve more. For you to reach more, you need a very strong plan of action, and you should really get started actioning the plan. So this is our contact number here, and this is the email ID. So we have Mr. Dr. Sendil would have given you that I am available for consultation as a add-on to this particular session. So if you would be willing to have a consultation with me to understand how you can improvise on your performance, it is a free consultation only, and there are no hidden agendas basically. So you can feel free to contact us to know what you want to do to get started. Basically, whether you want to execute through us, you can execute it, or you can also get it executed on your own. I give you the 5 methods how you can execute. So feel free to do it. We want to give back to the Softal community, and that's what Dr. Sendil truly wants. He wants me to contribute some of my time to give some consultations here. So you can fix up a time which will be informed by Divya, who's in my support team. And also I'm going to give you a nice coverage on that. I don't know if you have time. Yeah, we don't have much time. So I'm going to give you a nice coverage on how to set up your own Google My Business account through which you can create a free website on your own. So during your consultation, you can also talk about it, and I will also guide you to create your own Google My Business account. If you already got it, I'll tell you, give you advice on how you can improvise on that. Thank you very much. And I just opened the session for Q&A now. Anyone has any questions, you can ask me now. Which phone calls cloud telephony software? There are multiple products out available in the market. You can try My Operator, which is there at one of my clients' place. They're also doing a good job. And then there is one more called, I'm not able to get their name now. There's one more cloud telephony operator. You can also contact them. If I remember the name, I will ping it in the group, or you can also ping me in the group. I will revert on that. Okay, any other questions anyone has? Not able to get the name. I'll get you the name later. Yeah, it was very informative. Thank you so much. Looking forward to be in touch with you. And also if you have any workshops or such, so definitely we have a lot of things coming our way. Definitely would like to stay connected with you. I would like you all to give me your suggestions about this work, about this particular session. I've nearly spent a lot of time actually to build a nice content, very directed content for this particular audience, because I've been observing your reactions for over some time now. So I wanted to really give something of good value. I wanted to know if it is really been beneficial to you. I want you to share your comments in the chat group, and also others can ask questions now. If you have any questions, we have say 8 more minutes to go. You can ask your question, and also you can share your comments likewise, so that it gives encouragement and gives us that required impetus to move in this direction. So any questions from anybody here? You can ask whatever you have as a starting trouble, you're getting started, you are any question is a good question. So you don't have to think it is going to be a basic question or whatever. Even if it is, you're already doing it, you are a pro, and if you have some very specific things to ask also, you can ask. Yes, sir. Over to you, Virendra Roda. You have a question, sir? Meanwhile, you can also, if you like this session, you can also share your comments. I could see only 2. If others could also share your freelancer availability. So, sorry, sir, you have a question to ask?
Initially, I have started with Google Business.
Sir, we can't really hear you.
Yes, initially I have started with.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yes, sir, can you hear me now?
No, not clearly.
Me?
Not clearly.
Can you hear me now,
No, it's very bad, sir. Very signal is too bad. I don't know what is it. Okay, I'll just keep answering these questions. Freelancer availability. So I just want to know what you really, what you exactly mean by this freelancer availability. Maybe if you can rephrase your question, I will be able to answer it. Do you want to know where from you can get freelancers, or if you can reframe it properly, I can give you more information on that. What are the algorithms to boost a post in Facebook? There are no algorithms to boost a post in Facebook. The Facebook itself gives you the boost option, but I don't recommend you to use boost option. I would recommend you to use Ad Manager from Facebook, which can make your campaign go consistently to a specific audience on and on, and then you can really get some very good results through that. For that, you should be using Facebook Ad Manager for running your campaign. instead of just doing boost is good when you just want to do a specific reach or a immediate reach, but for you to really scale up your campaign and get more productive rewards in terms of ROI, you should be using Facebook Ad Manager. If you have more questions on that, you can also connect and we can also give you more information on that. Which age group digital marketing reach nowadays? Okay, you're trying to ask me what reaches more nowadays. So my recommendation to you is you can start initially, if you want to get started, you can start with Facebook or Instagram. That is good enough to start with, supposing if you're looking at a social media per se. But otherwise, if you you would have heard me talking here about Google Ads. And if you just have to get these things, two things clearly: awareness marketing, need-based marketing. So once you have this, these two things clearly taken up in your mind, then you can know which strategy you should use. If it is awareness marketing, go for Facebook, Insta, and all these players. And if it is need-based marketing, then go for very specific audiences through YouTube discovery ads, through Google Ads, wherein you can reach the right audience. So this is okay. Thank you, Seema Gore. Very good and informative. How to search for them? Mayank Pond. Okay, how to search for freelancers, you're saying, right? So initially, what I would suggest is, if supposing you have someone who is closer to you, it is better, because generally freelancer searching outside is a very risky task unless you know them, because you're going to be sharing their your credentials. If it is a known company, then it is fine. It is your employee, it is fine. But freelancer, I would request you to go through the known circle. Don't do online this thing unless you have a credible reference. Even if you find them online, you should go through a credible reference. That's my suggestion, because you'll be sharing your credentials with them. Great content, targeted ophthalmology practice, very insightful. Thank you, Parsari. Sonali Gupta. Okay, how can we appear on top of Google search for our area? Do we need contact Google? Sonali, I think we just now spoke about it, or whatever. See, very simple. There are two ways for you to reach. In fact, there are three ways for you to reach. One way to reach is you should have a free way to reach is you should have a very good content, so that organically Google places you on the top of the page. If you can go back to my presentation that I did on 2 months back, I believe, there I have spoken about this in detail, about the different 5 types of searches that people do, 5 search method, Google, and a lot of stuff. So one is the organic method, another is the paid method, wherein you do a search-based advertising, you appear on the top of the page. That way you can appear on the top of. The third way is, which a lot of people are not using today, but you have a very good visibility also through this, is through Google My Business Ads. Doing ads in the map. So people are now looking at, a location or an information closer to them, a doctor closer to them, or a clinic or a hospital closer to them. So doing ads through maps is going to get you fantastic coverage, which not many people are leveraging. I would request you to definitely go back again to my other video that I created in the same. This is the second session that Dr. Sendil gave me. I'm very thankful to him. That was the first video. There we have a lot of such information. Ad Manager, please describe. Okay. Facebook Ad Manager is a tool which is provided by Facebook for you to manage your campaigns, run your campaigns, and manage your campaigns effectively. Say, for example, you want to reach only this particular area. You want to reach people in Delhi. You want to reach people in this particular age group in Delhi. You want to reach only IT professionals in Delhi, in this particular age group. You want to reach only the male population in this particular age group, this particular people working in IT or whatever. You can be very specific about the audiences, or you can even specify people who have liked that particular page should only be the audience in my particular campaigning also. So you can be very specific about the campaign in terms of your approach, and you can target the campaign only to them. All that is possible not through the boosting campaign. There you have very limited options. All this is very much possible in the ad manager that you can use. It is called Facebook Ad Manager. Every account has a Facebook Ad Manager access. You just have to use it. It is a free tool which is provided by Facebook for you to manage your campaign. Hope I answered it. You just need to know these terms, these keywords, and then you can Google, and there is a lot of information. But for you to connect the dots, this is going to be very helpful. Do you also help or guide on how to create content for different platforms? We do guide in terms of giving instructions and guidelines. Yes, of course. We do look at these patterns. We do track these tools. We do suggest basically as to what topics can really get you more mileage through these tools. But if you're getting started, and if you want to do it on your own also, you can just follow the content research strategy that I just now revealed to you, the 5 types that you can use. That itself is sufficient enough. That gives you a lot of information. But yes, of course, we do also guide. Can you train our in-house staff any workshop in future? Yes, of course, we are planning for a couple of workshops, but based on the interest levels from this group, Dr. Sendil has to advise us basically how we can really structure something which will be useful. The idea is we want to create more of docpreneurs basically equipped with these digital skills. And even if you are having an agency or you have in-house resources, you can be deploying others also to get your work done. But you should be first of all informed as to where your money is getting into. So whether you execute it or not is a secondary thing, but you should be informed about where your money is the money going in the right direction or not. So for that, at least that education is necessary. And then once you understand this part, then you can do the delegation. The delegation can be to your own self or to the people outside or to people outside your organization. So definitely that is very much required, and we definitely love to train people. You should have to write a mail to Dr. Sendil and you can request him, maybe if he's all okay, and we can, looking at the demand and need, we can definitely organize something which will be helpful for all of you. So recording available. Yes, of course, the recording is going to be available for you in the platform. You can access this recording from the platform, sir. Appreciate your knowledge and experience. Thank you very much, Mallikarjun. Is there anyone who has any other questions before we close the session? I would definitely request you to write long reviews about this particular class, because that will give us more insight as to what were the key learnings from this. Even if you have some improvements, please do share. We are here to improvise on the content. Yeah. Over to the organizer. Sir, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So do we conclude the program?
Yes, sir.
You want to have any final words? Is Dr. Sendil around? No.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the kind response and support for our delegates. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. And thank you, all of you, for spending your time and being here till the end of the session. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful support and nice session, sir.